Hi, once again, guys. I went ahead and did this dissection before we ended up not being able to go back to school. So I wanted to point out the external anatomy, so like the outside of the fish first, and then we'll dissect this, and so you can at least have seen it. So a couple things. So let's talk fins first. This back fin on a fish is called the caudal fin, and its purpose is kind of like steering, and it's also got a very powerful muscle back here to move it through the water. On the top of the fish, you probably are very familiar with these. These are the dorsal fins, and they are in the top. And you can see there are spines here, and that would be dangerous to rub the wrong way. On the bottom side of the fish, there are these fins. These are called pelvic fins. This one at the back is called the anal fin. Kind of makes sense. It's by its one opening, that cloaca. And then there are fins here on each side called pectoral fins. And this part right here is the operculum. It's not a fin, obviously, but it protects the gills. And it's a hard outer covering. And I'm gonna go ahead and remove that first for you to be able to see the gills on this fish. Oh, before I do that, actually, this line here is called the lateral line, and it is actually a sensory organ. It's on both sides. So again, here is the lateral line of this fish, and it uses it to be able to sense movement in the water. And so they don't see very well, but they definitely sense the movement in the water. If you've ever gone into the ocean where fish are, you notice that they move real quick, but what they're noticing is the disturbance in the water because of your movement. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this operculum for you to be able to better see these gills. And the gills are kind of feathery. We know that this is what they breathe with. I'm going to kind of separate, and you can kind of see that there are 4 separate layers of these gills in here. I don't want to separate really well, but there are 4. By the way, this fish is a perch. It is a freshwater fish. I don't know if you could see it or if my hand was in the way. Do you see those gills? Okay. Now, they have a lot of those surfaces because the more surface area, the more oxygen it can get. Okay, so I'm going to go into that opening that they have. That is basically one opening for everything. Again, no external genitalia. I'm going to cut through some bones up here. Those of you who have filleted a fish, very much like filleting a fish here. Got part of the organs there. And I actually have a female here. How do I know? This is an ovary. And you can see here are some bones that are protecting the internal anatomy. Let me go ahead and cut up a little bit more. And the part that I'm cutting is actually muscle and what people eat when they say they are eating fish. Okay, I'm going to try and go up without destroying this organ that I want to show you. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this ovary, just so we could see better inside. And there's the other ovary on the opposite side. Now, I don't know if you see this little sac thing that's going on here. It's got a little hole at this point. This is the swim bladder, and fish use that to fill with air so they can rise up, or to empty with air so they can go back down lower into the water. We have their intestines here in the front. And also, I'm going to open this up, not to be gross. Sorry about that. This is the liver of the fish. And up here, we have the heart. Let's see if I can bring it a little closer for you to see the heart there. That's the heart. It only has 2 chambers, so 1 atria and 1 ventricle. And obviously, it's very close to the gills because it's going to help move the oxygen that came in from those gills to the rest of the body of this fish. And I want to show you that these intestines are connected to that one opening, as were the ovaries. You can see that they are also connected there. And so that's kind of the basic anatomy of the fish, and I hope that this has helped learn a little bit more about fish.